guitar, baby. Alrighty, here we are, folks. Welcome back to the channel, MOJO Shop Guitar. This here is the next guitar we're going to do. It is a nice little Squire Jazzmaster, looking real nice, but it's got some problems. It's got some real bad setup problems. You know, things are a little bit out of whack, but that's how you get them these days. You know, you spend good money on your guitar and you still gotta bring it into a guy like me and have him go over it and get it right. You know, that's just the reality of it. Every guitar has to be set up. I don't care where you get it from, unless it's a Fender custom shop or something like that. You know, you paid $5,000 for it, it better be set up. But here it is. Yep, it's a nice little white one. It's got some Duncan designed pickups in it. You know, it's just your regular, you know, Fenders or Squire Jazzmaster. It's a nice little guitar, but it does need some help. So we're going to get it over to the bench. We're going to give it some real nice help. We're going to get this thing playing just the way a guitar is supposed to play. You know how we do it here on MOJO Shop Guitar. Let's get over to the bench. Okay, well, here we are over at the bench with this one right here, and we're going to get her all cleaned up. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take the strings off of it, and we're going to get it apart. And we're probably going to take the neck off of it. You know, got to take the neck off. And you know, it's looking pretty good here. It's got some good stuff on it. I don't think I'm going to have to take things all the way apart and everything, because this is pretty much a brand new guitar. So we're just going to go over it, give it the once over, make sure everything's straight. But we are going to take the neck off of it, I think. Maybe not, though. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling about it. But we are going to change the strings out and a few other things. So let's go ahead and do that. And when I get the strings off it and everything, I'll be right back. Alrighty, we decided to take the body and the neck apart, because it's just going to be easier to work on the neck this way, and we can get everything taken care of. And the body, you know, we can get at that and get it a little bit cleaner and stuff like that. It's got a big C in the neck. What the heck that means, I don't know, but it looks pretty nice. Everything looks cool. So we're going to set that over to the side. We're going to get started on this neck here. Okay, there's the bridge right there. It's going to need some work too. Those saddles are way out of whack. Okay. And then we got the trem arm right there. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get out the old straight edge, which I think is upstairs, so I'll be right back. Alright, I got my straight edge here. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to stick it on here. We're going to see if it's rocking or not, and it is not rocking. That is a good sign. Now we're going to get out our little tiny feeler gauge here, and we're just going to see where this neck is sitting at as far as being flat. It's got a little bit of relief in the middle, right along the middle, so we're going to go ahead and tighten this up a little bit. And let's see if this is the one we need here. No, I know that ain't the one. Let's see. Where? No, it ain't that one. Nah, it's too small. What I do with it? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll be back when I find the wrench. Alright, so I found the Allen wrench that I needed for this. So we're just going to tighten this up a little bit, because that's what you do when it's got a little bit of a valley in it. So we're tightening it up just a little bit. We're going to put our stuff back on here. And yes, we have taken up that gap just a little bit. Okay, but we need to go a little bit tighter. And the truss rod really didn't have any it wasn't tight at all. So we're going to give it a little bit of help going that way, just a little bit there. And we'll flip that over and see where we're sitting now. It's barely slipping underneath there. So I think that if we give it just one more little, right like that there, we might be right in the neighborhood of being dead flat. And yes, sir, I think we are dead flat. It don't slip underneath nowhere. Alright, we're good to go on that. We got it dead flat. Okay, that's what we want. Now, we're going to take our big fat marker. You know the deal. We're going to take our big fat marker. Let's tighten in a little bit here. We're going to put some lines on the top of these frets here. Just like that with the marker. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do all these frets across there. Then we're going to take our leveling bead here, which has a little bit of sandpaper on it, some real smooth like 600. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go over this back and forth like this until we've taken off all this black marker off of these frets. And when we get that done, we'll know that this fretboard is perfectly level and that the frets are perfectly level across the top. So when we get done with that, we'll be back. Alright, we got the fretboard nice and level. We got all that marker off the top of the fret, so we know that the frets are level. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our fret leveling file here. It's got 3 different settings on it. And we're going to put it on our medium one, which is right there. And we're just basically going to go over these frets like this. And we're just going to see what we did is we flattened them out on top. Now we're going to take that flat top and make it into more of a point with this file here. So that gets it nice and nice and smooth. And all we got to do is just go over it like this right here a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and do that to each one of these files, or each one of these frets, and we'll be right back. Alright, we got this neck all pretty much taken care of, except for we got to polish up these frets a little bit. And what we do is we just basically take a little piece of, I got a little piece of steel wool, and what we're doing is we're going over the frets with that steel wool, getting them nice and shiny, and we're kind of going over the wood at the same time. We're kind of sanding that wood down a little bit, making it real smooth. See, we just basically go over it like that. And as you can see, that's shined that fret up real nice, real nice. So we're going to go ahead and go over the rest of these frets. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do something special, and we'll finish this neck off. We got them nice and shiny. As you can see, they are nice and shiny. Look at that shine on there. Okay, then what we're going to do next, we'll widen it out a little bit. What we're going to do now is we're going to take just a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a little bit of tissue here. Some nice white tissue. I'm going to soak it down with a little alcohol. And we're just basically going to rub this off. Go over this neck real good one more time. Just get it nice and clean. We're going to check and see. And see, we're getting a little bit of dirt off of it, you know. Some of that's just from the frets. So the frets will leave a little bit of black stuff behind once you polish them. We'll put just a little bit more on there. And we're just kind of going over this. I use the rubbing alcohol because it dries up real fast, doesn't stay on very long. And it gets, it's good for getting all that grease and dirt off. All right. Excuse me. And as you can see, that dries up pretty quick here. I need to grab a towel, don't I? Alrighty, got a towel. I'm gonna clean that up. Why does that look funky right there? I'm gonna have to go back over that for a minute. Yeah, we'll go back over this one more time after we cleaned it all up. Just a kind of a quick going over. Give it a fresh little shine there. Something down there in that fret just a little bit that I want to get out of there. Here we go. Right down there. A bit of schmutz or something. There's a little bit of stuff here and there. But the rest of it looks pretty good, okay? We'll just keep going over it here. Alrighty. A little wipe off there. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to tighten in a little bit. There we go. Alright. We're going to take just a little bit of our good old-fashioned coconut oil from good old Kroger's. Okay. Just put a little bit on the end of my finger. I'm just going to kind of hit all these little spaces in between here. I'm not trying to put a whole lot on there, just a little. Each one of these. And then we're going to rub it in. And I like the coconut oil because it doesn't, once again, it doesn't soak in a whole lot. Sort of gets on the surface and hydrates things real nice. You don't want to soak down your fretboard with oils and real liquidy stuff. And then you see how that shines that right up. There's a nice little shine. And we will go back and we'll just kind of rub that in. You know. Just so that it's in there real nice. And you can, you know, depending on how dry your fretboard is, you can leave that on there for half a second. You know, you don't have to take that right off. In fact, we'll let it sit on there for a second. You can see how nice that looks. Nice and shady. It's getting some hydration right now. We are going to go ahead and wipe it off now. Alright, we'll go back and forth because I don't want to pack that wet or the oil into against the fret. So we'll go this way, make sure we get up against the frets real nice. And voila. There you go. A nice hydrated fretboard. Looks beautiful. Look at that wood. That's got some nice grain in it too. That is a nice piece of wood on that fretboard. This thing's gonna play real nice. We'll get that headstock all cleaned up real nice. And I'd have to say this fretboard is done. Let's widen out a little bit. You see that if you run your finger on the side there, it is just ooh smooth. Those frets are nice and smooth. Everything's nice and smooth on this neck is, I'd say, done. The neck is done. And we're going to move on to the body. So let's get the body over here and we'll be right back. Okay, well, we're back. We got this neck all taken care of. And it's looking beautiful. But now it's time to move on to the body here. And basically what we're going to do is we're not going to take out the trim system here, nothing like that. And you can see the back. You know, it's pretty clean, stuff like that. We're going to clean it up, give it a little bit of a polish. But first thing we're going to do is I want to take the pick guard off of it here. And we're going to kind of see what that looks like underneath there. Sure does have a lot of screws in it. But yeah, we're going to get this off. It's, you know, it's a beautiful white color. I like the, you know, in this classic tortoise shell, or whatever it's called, pick guard. And the color of it. Classic. Okay. So we get these screws out of here. And we'll take a peek and see what it looks like underneath. Everybody's interested in what it looks like underneath. It might take a minute. You know, that's the thing about guitars, is that even if you buy a brand new one, you know, it still needs to be gone over. Still needs to be, you know, set up. Still needs to have the string height set, and just things just gone over so that it's, you know, doing what a guitar is supposed to do. You know, it's playing in tune up and down the neck. You know, it's easy. It's fun to play. You know, kind of just, we basically, what you're doing is you're taking the fight out of that guitar. You know, you notice that when you get something, your guitar, it's got a little fight. You know, you gotta play it, you gotta grab it a little harder. Okay, you guys ready to see what's underneath there? There we go, there she's coming loose. Ooh boy, that's a whole lot of wiring. There we go. Not much to it. But basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through here. Here, I tell you what, let's take our towel. We're gonna lay our towel down. Or a shirt. Alright. How can we do this here? Alright, well basically we're going to try to get it around this way. Hey, there we go. I think that might work. But anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to get in here and we're going to put a little bit of lube in these pots here. We're going to lube these pots up just a little bit, put a little stuff in here, just do a little bit of maintenance, and then we're going to put it back together, make sure everything's straight. So basically what we're going to do is I got a little, there it is back there, sitting back there. I got this little oiler right here. It's got just a little bit of oil down in there. It's just exactly what these pots need. We'll give them just a little bit of shot down in through there. And then what we do is once we give it a little bit, we just go back in here and turn it around a little bit. We'll just put a couple drops in there. It doesn't need much. A couple drops in there. And then you just turn the knob back and forth, you know. Turn the knob a little bit. Go back over to this other one. And we'll get in there. Just put a little bit more in there. Go back and forth. Cleans these suckers right up. There's also a little tiny hole on the pot, on the top, that you can put a little bit in there if you want to. That helps too sometimes. And this oiler works nice for getting in those little holes. Okay, now we'll come down to these other ones, and this is basically the same thing. Just got a couple of pots, just like anything else. Give them a little bit of a spin. Okay, and then we got our three-way switch over here, which is basically just going to get a little bit of right in there. So that's working nice and easy. Okay, and the rest of the stuff I'm not really going to worry about because those are just some switches. And this guitar is not old. You know, it's not real old, let me put it that way. So I'm not really worried about things like the, you know, being a lot of age and a lot of dried up stuff and just, you know, being too crusty and old. But now I gotta make sure that all these wires are tucked down in there real nice, like. We wouldn't want to have anything sticking up or out. I think we got it all in there just right. Why is that sticking up? Sometimes these are a little tricky, you know, you get a little something sticking up, you don't want things sticking up. Is there something sticking up? No. There is. There. Alright. I forgot to get underneath there. Sometimes you gotta get underneath there and tuck the wires down so that it lays down the way it's supposed to. Yep, that's laying down the way it's supposed to. There are no wires being pinched. Okay. Let's go ahead and we're going to put the screws back in here. We're going to give this a nice wipe down. And we are going to put the neck back on it. Okay? No, I think here's what we're going to do. I changed my mind. We're going to put the screws back in this. We're going to give it a nice little wipe down. And then we're going to, where is that pesky bridge? We're going to go over this bridge here, and we're going to get it all ready to go back on here because it's way out of whack. It needs some help. Okay, so we're going to get that straight. So after we get that done, we'll be back. Well, I got this body all cleaned up. Look at that, how that shines. I mean, it is looking as clean as it did. Maybe cleaner than it did when it came out of the factory. Might be fresher than when they opened the box. The stuff I use on it kind of makes it smell good too. Alright, well we got this nice and shiny. I'm going to set it off to the side here. Okay. We got one last thing to do before we put the body and the neck together. Let's just tighten it a little bit here. See, we're going to take this old bridge here, and as you can see, it's got some troubles. Now, seen better days. And I don't really care if these ones look like some Look like they just took some old bolts and cut them up. But, you know, it keeps the string in one place, so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to have to make sure that the string spacing is right on it and it's in the right spot and all that kind of good junk. Maybe I'll even just cut some little slots in there for those so they sit in there just right. But we're going to get this just perfect, get it just right. And when we do that, when I get that all taken care of, we'll be back. Well, alrighty, we got this bridge all taken care of. It's in a lot better world. About ready to go in there. They're all shined up. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to put the body and the neck together. So we can't find that neck plate right here. So we got the neck plate right there. We're going to give that a little bit of a wipe down and polish before we put it back on. Make it look nice and shiny. Every part must shine. Alright, does that look shiny enough for you? I think it does. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We'll flip this body over. Put these screws. See, Fender already does that. They make it so the screws go right straight through the body the way they should. You don't have to screw into the body to get the neck on, okay? So what we're going to do, we'll bring this around here. Sometimes this can be a little bit of a balancing act, you know, to get things just the way they should be. Alright. Okay, I think they got that in spot. And we're just going to go ahead and, you know, this is one of them kind ratchets here that you can just lay it on down right here, see? You lay it on down, push it up in the pocket nice, get it laid down. And then we can just start putting these screws in. We're laying it down. And you know, the screws go through the body. So I don't have to worry about anything, you know, not lining up or not sinking, you know, cinching down good. It's all going to go together the way it should. Yeah. I like it when the screw goes in there and then it gets some bite. Yep, see that sucking right up there. Real nice, just the way it should be. And I try to get the top ones nice and tight first. See, something ain't right with this one. I think what we're going to do, we're going to put just a little bit of coconut oil on the end of it. Just a little bit. Okay, I'll pull it back up. Alright, that'll just make that so that threads in a little bit nicer. Oh, look at that. See, we just had the threads crossed a little bit. Yeah, see, now she's sinking down real good. Look at that. Bottom one there. And then we just go back around and make sure we got them all good and shinked down. Now, you want to try not to booger up the screw ends, you know, so, because we don't want anything jagged. We want the screws that are jagged. Alright, hey, look at there. Doo-doo. It's a guitar. Let's stick the bridge on it. Okay, that goes on like that. And now we are going to check the neck angle. And make sure that this neck does not need shemming or anything like that. And it looks pretty good. Maybe not. So raise that up. Yeah, it's gonna be way off the deck. Yep, we gotta shim it a little bit. It's gotta be down just a hair. So when I get done doing that, I'll be right back. Alright, we threw a little shim in the neck. Just a little bit. Took it right down to where it should be. And now it is time to put some strings on her. Got the good old Ernie ball 9342. If I can get them out of the package. Let's get these suckers tore open. There you have it, folks. Let's start out with that big old number 42. Get that one in the chute. Let's see here. We'll put that right here in the bottom. Line that up. Give it the finger. Well, you can't really see that, can you? Well, we're going to get it up here. And where's my cutters? They're back here. Tell you what, we're going to slide things around here a little bit so we can see. Some of this junk out the way. Alright, okay. And I think that we can do that, can't we? Move the camera around here like this. Bam, maybe tighten in a little bit. And turn. There we go. Hey, that's a good view. I like that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We come on down here, and we give us about a finger's length. See, I got from right here, from my knuckle right there, to the end of my finger. Jesus. And then I'm just going to cut it off. Because these go right straight down in there. Like so. And then you turn it, and you crank it on. And they sit in there just right. Now there is one little thing I wanted to do first. This slot in the nut here is sticking just a little bit, so I'll tell you what. There we go. We're getting in there. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to go over that. I should have went over it earlier. What I'm going to do is take a toothbrush after this nut first. Okay. Now I'm going to get out my nut files here. My makeshift nut files, and we're just going to clean that up a little bit. I got my big one here. See that right there. We're just going to kind of get in there and clean that up just a little bit. Let me see, where's the 32, 45. Yeah, we'll just do it like that. We're going to make our slot just a little bit wider than what we need to. I don't like the way these things have a bunch of gunk in them sometimes. Well, everything to go together smooth. So we're cleaning these nut slots out because this does have a trem system on it, and you want that trem to, you know, slide nice and easy and stuff. So the nuts have got to be right. So we're going to clean those nut slots out a little bit. Okay. Now we can continue to tighten the string up. There we go. Put some tension on her. That's exactly what we want to do. We don't. Right there's good. Okay. And they're sitting flat on the deck. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, let's go ahead and put the 32 on here. Keep on going. Give it about a finger's worth. Down in the hole she goes. Love them ones with the hole down the middle. Makes life easier. Okay. Let's make sure we got those in the things. Okay, you've seen us put a string on. When I get all these strings on here, we'll be back. Alright. We got a little bit of progress on this thing. First thing we did is we got the strings on here, and then we set the string height. Got the string height all straight. You know, we went in here and we got the string height, which is set at about 2 millimeters. Just a little bit high. Maybe we'll take it down just a little bit more. See, we did tighten it up and it came up a little bit. And we're about 1.6. We're a little high on that, so I think we're going to take these both down just a little bit. See, that's what we do, is we kind of constantly adjusting things as we go. Ah, there's my wrench. Okay. We'll take that down just a hair. And we'll take this side down just a hair. There we go. And we'll try that one. Let's see. You know, we're getting in the ballpark here. That I like. And that could go down just a little bit more. There we go, I like that. Okay, now we've got the, we went ahead and we also did the, well, let's tighten it a little bit here. We did the radius on the strings, okay? So we took the radius of the neck, which is 7 1/4, and we stick our little radius gauge here, and we, with our feeler gauge, we make sure that all these strings are sitting at 7 1/2. And my thing is sliding underneath there a little bit. It needs just a little bit of adjustment, just a tiny hair. And see, that's what we do. We go back and we adjust things a little bit. So we want it to be a little bit higher. So we're going to screw it down just a little bit like that. Just going to give each one of them just like a little quarter of a turn right across the middle. You can kind of tell how much is down. It's not down very much. Give each one of those just a little tweaks. Alright, let's try that. See if that floats. Doot, 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 doot. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so that is a nice 7 1/4 inch radius across there. And now the next thing we're doing after this is we're going to go ahead and stretch the strings. And basically, what you do when you stretch the strings, you just kind of grab it like this. You give it a little yank. Just kind of push out with your thumbs, pull back with your fingers. And you're going to give this a good stretch all the way across. And then what we did is we tuned it up first, okay? We got the strings up to tune, okay? And then we're giving them a stretch. And then we're going to tune it up again. Let's tune it up again. See, it went all the way down to D sharp. Yeah, it went down a whole half step on each note, looks like. And that's what we're taking the stretch out of it. And that, my friends, will keep your guitar in tune. You're taking the stretch out of these strings. So when you play it, you're not stretching the strings out. They've already had the stretch taken out of them, so you can't stretch them anymore, and they stay in tune. Okay, you've gotten the concept. We're going to go ahead and we're going to give this thing a stretch, and then we're going to come back and we're going to check, make sure all the notes play up and down the neck real good. So we'll be right back. Alright, well, we only got one last thing to do to this. We got the notes playing all good up and down the neck. We got the intonation set. Got the string height set. We got everything tweaked and everything's ready to go. Only thing we got to do is set the pickup height. That's the only thing we're going to do. So, without further ado, and he's come down some. So, we'll screw these suckers right straight down some more. And we're getting them at our favorite height, right about 3 millimeters. Up just a little bit. Let's try that right there. That looks good. Perfect. Let's try this side. Gotta go down. When I got this guitar, these strings there, the pickups were right up on the strings. Ain't nobody play it like that. So, let's see where we get these Duncan designs here. Oh, I still got it on, go down quite a bit. And we'll do this one. Alright, now that went down underneath there. We're going to let it off just a little bit. So I like this one to be just a little bit tighter. That's good. Okay, let's do this side here. Oh, gotta come down. Go figure, huh? Still gotta go. It's these little things like this that really make a big difference. I'm getting the pickup height just right. And a nice uniform spot. That way, if you get over there and you play it and you go, oh, they don't sound just exactly right, at least you know that they're both set at the same, at the same setting. That is just a smidge tight. There we go. I like it. We're going to take it up just a little tiny bit. There you have it right there, folks. There you have it. Let's see what she sounds like. We're just sitting here, just playing it. Definitely has that Fender kind of a twang, don't it? Nice and smooth, neck's nice and smooth. Everything's looking real good. Look at that. She cleaned up like a pro, didn't she? Yeah. Well, she's from good stock. Look at that neck. Look at the dark and then going into the light. Beautiful neck. Beautiful neck. Beautiful tortoise shell. Oh, everything's shiny and clean and oh, good. Man, it is looking oh so good. Back is spotless. And that spray on wax that I use makes it smell so good. Oh yeah, she smelled real good. Well, what do you say? We take this over and give it a little whirl, huh? See what she sounds like. Well, here she is, folks. It's all done. Looking beautiful as can be. Fretboard's all straight. Look at that. It's got a big shiny Squire on there, man. It sure is looking good. But how's it sounding? I got a feeling it's sounding pretty good. Let's find out. that's on the bridge. Let's put it in the middle. Yeah, this thing might master some jazz now, huh? Let's put it on the neck. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. You know, I had to say that this is another beautiful guitar. It's got some real mojo. In fact, see, we got a little MOJO sticker on the back there. That proves it. This is a real quality guitar, but you know, it didn't come from the factory that's playing smooth like this. It has to come someplace to a guy like me, or a person like me, and go through it, make it smooth, make it play sweet, so that it's doing the things the guitar is supposed to do. Alright, I'm gonna say adios for now. From MOJO Shop Guitar, baby. Thank you for watching MOJO Shop Guitar. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you all.